Hello and welcome wherever you are joining from. Good morning, afternoon, evening. My name is Remy Afon, and I'm the CEO of Lynsec Cybersecurity. And it's a pleasure to have you here. And joining me is Olabode Agbola, that's the Lynsec lead instructor and consultant. And today we are having a free webinar that's designed to give you an exciting preview of the new ISO 42001 training and certification program. So I'm going to kick things off with an eye-opening discussion on AI's global takeover and how artificial intelligence is going to reshape markets, economics, and jobs in 2025 and beyond. Then Olabode will walk you through an overview of ISO 42001. I will go through the course modules and what you can expect if you choose to dive into the full training. Then we'll wrap up with a Q&A session and share all the details about the upcoming certification program. So basically sit back, enjoy, and let's get started. But before we start, I would like to kind of know where you are joining from. It's good to understand where you're joining from. So if you can just pop it in the chats where you are joining us from, the country or the city where you are joining us from. That would be great. From Nigeria, that's interesting. United Kingdom, Tunisia, UK, UK, UK. You're all welcome. Um, Good day, Frank, from Nigeria. So welcome to this session. And this session I'm going to talk about the AI global takeover. This presentation will explore how artificial intelligence is reshaping markets, economics, and jobs as we approach, as we dive into 2021 and moving beyond 2021 as well. I'm going to touch on some concepts you may have known about it before, just to refresh our memory on AI. So that's what this is going to be all about. But before we dive into, let me just introduce myself once more. Like I said, my name is Remy Afon, and I'm the CEO of Lynsec Cybersecurity Limited. Um, I'm a cybersecurity specialist with kind of notable success executing broad range of corporate IT initiatives, implementing information security solutions in direct support of business and government objectives. I'm a speaker at conferences, summits, seminars on contemporary cybersecurity topics. I'm also a cybersecurity mentor, a coach, and a trainer. I've got content with InfoSec Institute in the United States of America as a skill author. I developed the DevSecOps learning path for InfoSec Institute that is based in Chicago in America. Also, I'm a PCB and CH certified trainer. And I've got artificial intelligence for cybersecurity from University of Oxford, MSc Information Security, Royal Holloway, University of London. And my first degree is in computer science. Got some ISO certification, which includes the 42001 that we are going to look into now today, and also some cloud certification as well. So if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. just search for my name, Remy Afon, and we'll get connected. Just this Monday, when I was preparing for this presentation, the UK announced that there's going to be visa restrictions to be relaxed for AI workers from overseas. And this just came out on Monday when the Prime Minister was talking about how they want to use AI to boost growth. So that's to tell you that AI is becoming very important, and organizations are trying to jump into it, and governments as well. They want every country want to be ahead in terms of AI. So it's very critical as we move into 2025 and beyond. So in the past, when you want to load some level of literacy, we normally talk about ability to read and write. Then later on, we move into ability to read, write, and use computer. But now AI is going to be part of it. It's a must. That all of us must be involved in it. So the Prime Minister of UK, he plans to unleash AI across UK to boost growth. And what does that tell you? That tells you that there's going to be a lot of job opportunities for those who quickly jump into artificial intelligence. We'll look into introduction to AI, ML, and generative AI. We'll begin by defining what AI is and its related fields, including machine learning and generative AI, as a fundamental concept to understand their current and future impacts. And what is artificial intelligence? I know we are all familiar with that, but talking about the definition, we can say that artificial intelligence involves systems that mimic human intelligence. And the key areas, natural language processing, computer vision, robotics, and expert systems. And example that we can quickly relate to is your Siri and Alexa, which act as your virtual assistants. Then another real life example is a self-driving car. That's a great example of AI in action. Using sensors, camera, and AI algorithm. These vehicles, they navigate and make decisions in real time. What's the impact? Some people say it's going to be like a safer road and reduce traffic congestion. Then we have so many other examples of AI. We've got manufacturing robots. Some people say that's going to have impact on people that are in manufacturing industry, that rather use people to work, robots might take over some of the jobs that people do in the factory. We've got the smart assistants, which I just mentioned, talking about the Siri. Then we'll have the healthcare management, which is now a big thing, automated financial investing, virtual travel booking agents, social media monitoring, marketing chatbots, and so on and so forth. The list is endless. So what is machine learning? So we'll talk about artificial intelligence. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. It enables system to automatically learn from its experience and over time improve themselves without being explicitly programmed. In programming, we program things to, when we're writing application, we write application to do certain tasks. But with machine learning, it learns, over time and automatically perform whatever I want it to do. So the objective of machine learning is to make computer learn themselves without any human intervention, and they adjust their actions accordingly. And we've got the key concepts: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. Supervised learning is a type of machine learning where the module is trained. When we say supervised, that means the module is trained using labeled data to predict outputs based on input data. So it's learning from labeled data where the model is told the correct answers during the training. An example is a spam filter. A spam filter learns to classify email as spam and not as spam. When you um, implement it in your organization and a spam comes in and you have told your users to report any spam, when that spam is being reported and it goes into that machine learning and it's being reviewed and say, okay, definitely this is labeled as spam. So that system begins to learn and understand which one is spam, which one is not spam. So that's what we call like supervised learning. It's just a matter of labeling those data to predict the output. It's just giving it the answer indirectly. Then we have unsupervised learning, which is a machine learning approach where the model discovers hidden pattern or groupings in data without pre-existing label. So you're not giving it any label. It's just going to find its own hidden pattern or structure in the unlabeled data. And a good example is your music streaming app. We have different music streaming app that we use, and they can group your songs into playlists based on similarities in the user listening behavior, you know, without predefined labels on them to say, okay, this is Afrobeat, this is R&B, it can automatically, do that on its own. So that's unsupervised learning. Then we have reinforcement learning. It's a learning method where an agent learns to make decisions by taking actions in an environment to maximize rewards. What I mean is that learning through trial and error, where the model receives feedback in form of rewards or penalty. And a good example is a self-driving car, which learns to navigate by being rewarded for following traffic rules and penalized for mistakes like running a red light. So these are just some basic concepts of machine learning. Then a real example that we can all relate to is the Netflix. Netflix uses a machine learning algorithm to recommend movies and TV shows based on your preferences, based on all the viewing. How it does that is it collect data on your viewing history. What are the movies that we have been watching? Then it will now suggest for you, because based on the data that is collecting, it's training the algorithm, you know, and now it's not going to personalize it for you and tailor some recommendations for you that based on what you have watched before, these are what we think that you would like to watch. And what's the impact? It gives a enhanced user experience and engagement. So we've got some definition of generative AI, which is another form of AI, which most of us are kind of familiar with, because that is out there. A lot of people are using ChatGPT and so many other generative AI. So generative AI refers to AI algorithms that can generate new content, such as images, music, or text by learning patterns from existing data. And it's got like a couple of key technologies. We have the generative adversarial network GANs, which we call GANs. GANs are a type of machine learning model where two networks, you know, a generator and okay, we have 1 second. Um, where we have the generator create a new data and the discriminator evaluates how real the data looks, helping the generator improve over time. And a good example, you know, um, is when you use a kind of photorealistic image of people who don't exist. He just generates it based on his own imagination. Then we have the variation now autoencoders. They are a type of natural networks designed to learn compressed representation of data while being able to generate new data similar to the original data sets. They are used to create new visions of handwritten digits based on the existing data assessed. So it's just a basic difference between them. One is using existing data set, and the other one is just generating based on his own imagination. So we got real life examples of generative AI. Um, Generative AI, it can create content from various applications. Like I said, it can generate paintings, can music, can be text, and so on and so forth. And you've got your ChatGPT and some other examples, which I'm going to show you in the next slide. You can see there are different thousands of generative AI coming up now. You can see all-purpose text generation, marketing and sales, text optimization, music creativity, visual and artistic creativity, scientific creativity, and so on and so forth. So there are so many kind of examples of generative AI, and it's applicable in so many fields. You can see example of you can use it to create images, you can use it to generate text like your chat GBT, and you can use it to compose music. We have some that are used to generate videos. We've seen movies that are being made using generative AI. We've got voice generation as well, you know, content creation for business. Yeah, so some of us use Canvas to generate social media posts and also presentations and so on and so forth. We have game design as well. You can use um, uh, generative AI to do the fashion design, healthcare, and so on and so forth. Uh, I was telling someone last week that a time has come whereby you don't even need to know how to program. For those that the good news for those that say no, I don't. I don't know how to program, and I'm into cybersecurity. There are tools, Copilot and so that you can use to generate any programming language. But the downside with that, don't take my word for it, is that so you might generate some codes that are kind of vulnerable. So that's another thing. So you need to understand secure software development to be able to tell the generative AI exactly what is how to come up with a secure program. And that's the reason, or a secure code. And that's why we now have people a job function that we call prompt engineers. Prompt engineers are the one that understand how to put in some prompts into all this generative AI to get expected output. Because basically it's going to be like garbage in, garbage out. And we all know, that generative AI sometimes can hallucinate because you give it something and it come up with something that's completely different from what you have said. So these are several areas that one can use that. Then we've yeah, AI, machine learning, generative AI, it's got a lot of impact, a lot of positive impacts, although there are some other negative impacts as well. But I'm going to dwell on the positive one rather than the negative. Like healthcare now, we have a kind of improved diagnostics and personalized treatments. Yeah, for finance, we have fraud detection and algorithm trading. Education, personalized learning experiences. Although we still have some challenges like ethical concerns, in terms of data being processed as well. Sometimes there are bias, there are some privacy issues, uh, and job displacement, because obviously AI might take over some jobs, and I believe that's the reason why you really want to dive into it, so that rather than replace your job, you will be at the driver's seat to determine what AI needs to be used for in your organization and be able to be part of that decision. So it cannot completely take over the job. It's going to create some jobs as well, Um, and also regulation. There's need for policies to govern AI use, which most organizations most countries are coming up with, regulation. And organizations are coming up with AI policy within their organization as well. And also, cyber criminals are leveraging on AI to do a lot of stuff. If you jump into dark web, you see a lot of things that people are using AI. Use AI to generate malware codes. People use AI to draft, spam, all these phishing emails. In those days, when people send phishing email, you tend to see the poor English and be able to spot it quickly. But with AI now, you can obviously uh, come up with a properly crafted email and send it to unsuspecting people. So there are cyber criminals leveraging on it. And we've even seen where someone was able to jump into a Zoom meeting, and be able to claim to be the managing director of that company and authorize, fund transfer. So there are so many, areas, the challenges that we are facing in terms of AI, machine learning, and generative AI. But the future of AI, machine learning, and generative AI, there are some trends we need to watch. AI in healthcare, uh, predictive analytic, and robotics surgeries. These are areas that trends to watch out for in terms of AI. AI is rapidly taking over medical care, you know, and AI will also take over in terms of climate change, environmental monitoring and sustainable solutions. We have generative AI in media, deepfake technology, virtual influences and deepfake technology. And, the example I gave in terms of the um, someone attending a Zoom meeting, for example, you might not be able to know whether I'm the one talking or is my deepfake AI generated self, you know, to tell you how things have gone in terms of advancement. So that's another area, deepfake opportunities. There's going to be continued innovation and cross-industry applications in terms of AI, ML, and generative AI. Then uh, the good thing about AI is that there's a lot of forecasts which I just want to share with you. Like there's a projected expansion. The global AI market is expected to grow from $244 billion this year to 827 billion, by 2030. That's double, you can see, indicating a compound annual growth rate of approximately 28.4%. And that's according to Statista. Then the sector adoption, by 2025, the year where we are now, AI adoption rates are anticipated to reach 60%, with significant uptake in healthcare, finance, and manufacturing. And a lot of organizations are adopting AI now, and they're looking at how to quickly. And in the past, when cloud came in, a lot of organizations are skeptical to migrate into the cloud, and those that were late to the party, they regretted it. So organizations are not, staying behind now. They really want to jump into it, and which is an opportunity for people that are knowledgeable in terms of AI. Then the economic impact, AI is projected to contribute to an additional 21% to the US GDP by 2030. And, the adoption of AI technology add nearly 14% to global GDP, which equating about 15.7 trillion by 2030. And you can see from, when I started, I did mention the UK Prime Minister talking about them adopting AI and opening up a lot of opportunities, even to the extent of relaxing the visa for people that are AI experts to be able to come into UK, giving them a special visa. So that's to tell you that it's going to have a huge economic impact. And in terms of investment and venture capital influx, AI technology startups, they are attracting a lot of funding. and people that invest into investment. I'm not an expert. I'm not a financial. I don't really have much financial education to be able to advise in terms of investment, but I could see that a lot of people are now investing into AI startups and AI organizations, so that they believe that they will have much from that investment in the nearest future. A lot of returns are going to be there because they are going to explode. Just like in those days when people were investing into IT and cloud related organizations. So the same thing now, people are putting money and betting on AI startups. And you can see how much they were able to gather, in terms of 2024. Then the corporate investments, major corporations are investing in AI. Uh, uh, Major organizations are investing significantly in AI infrastructure and research, propelling the market growth. Then it's creating jobs. People are saying AI is going to take our jobs. It's taking the jobs for the ones that it can replace and also creating some other jobs as well. So AI is expected to create 2.3 million jobs with high demand for roles such as we've got AI developers, data scientists, machine learning engineers, and I did mention, prompt engineers and so on and so forth. We've got AI security architects and so on and so forth. And there are some sector-specific growths. AI markets for retail industry is projected to grow to 19.9 billion by 2027. So these are kind of market demand and job creation that we are expecting. Then technology advancement and integration, there's going to be a lot of AI powered devices. And now we've got a lot of AI powered devices. You can see that Apple, their new release iPhone has got Gen AI incorporated in it, and that will continue. Then we have enterprise adoption. A lot of organization, um, trying to adopt, they plan to adopt AI and machine learning from 2025 and above, and 55% currently utilizing AI, an additional 45% exploring how they can start using AI. So, and that's prompted a lot of conversations in terms of regulation. So, how do you regulate this AI that, so that it's not going to be that everybody's just doing whatever they want to do? We know what happened when the crypto came in and people started, organizations and countries started panicking that what's happening, are they going to replace the physical cash and so on and so forth. We're thinking of coming up with some regulations, because criminals were using crypto. The same thing with AI. There's a need to have regulation, and countries are jumping into it. So the global AI regulation is evolving rapidly, and countries and international organizations, they are introducing frameworks to govern AI responsibly. You know, we want to balance innovation with ethical and safety concerns. And we've seen that in the United States, even as early as this year, we have um, executive order. Joe Biden came up with some executive order to enhance national cybersecurity and fast track AI data centers. And they also have export controls on AI technologies to limit access by adversaries, quote and unquote, China. You know, then European Union, the AI acts that came about last year, fully implemented. The AI Act, the European Union AI Act, it classifies AI system by risk level, and it requires human oversight and certification for high risk applications. Then China too also have their own AI regulation. They mandate labeling AI generated content, such as watermarks to combat misinformation and enhance transparency. You know, the China government is quite key when it comes to misinformation. They are really interested in that to ensure that they combat that. The United Kingdom, apart from the EU Act, UK also launched the AI Safety Institute to assess risk and ethical compliance. You know, through Brexit. You know, although the Brexit has caused regulatory divergence from EU, but we're still part of the EU AI Act. You know, other countries like Australia, you know, they have a unified national AI strategy. Israel also have a kind of sector-based risk alignment to AI ethics, and so on and so forth. Spain, Philippines, and so many countries. United Arab Emirates, you know, having a national strategy for AI by 2031. Brazil also, you know, New Zealand. So the global AI regulation is kind of emerging and evolving rapidly. So the future of AI, machine learning, and cybersecurity. Uh, so the future of AI is kind of difficult to predict, to be honest, um, because we have to think about what could the advancement of AI do to the future of cybersecurity. You know, and things are happening quickly. You know, what impact has it got with cybercrime? You know, uh, but according to the recent published research by the members of Oxford Internet Institute of Oxford University, they say AI's ability to work on such a large scale and its ability to create a convincingly human appearance will make artificial intelligence crimes more difficult to detect in future. So, so cyber criminals will likely more produce more matured AI system with the ability to create more convincing image of human behavior. And you can see the example of someone that was in a Zoom meeting claiming to be a CEO, directing the financial uh, officer to transfer money to a particular account. So there's so many, but the good thing is that you can also leverage AI for cybersecurity. You know, AI is doing a lot of things in terms of detecting uh, vulnerabilities quickly, detecting attacks quickly, and coming up with some remediation as soon as possible. So it's kind of, you know, uh, difficult to predict, but as time goes on, we'll be able to have a clearer picture. A lot of research are going on in that area of cybersecurity, AI, and machine learning. So Elon Musk, you know, it says, you know, no one is safe. Elon Musk predicts AI is coming for all our jobs, but that's he's claiming that probably none of us will have a job, you know, but at some point in time. But you know, I don't agree with that because obviously some people will be at the driving seat of those AI as well. But it's closer to the truth of the matter, and that's the reason why you have to jump into the AI. So I'll leave it at that and kind of bring in Mr. Labode Agbola, except you know anyone has a question or you want to leave it till when he finished. But you know, if you have question, you can feel free to ask now or drop it in the chat box. But you know, we'll still take question and answer at the end of the whole presentation. But Olabode Agbola will talk about the ISO 42001, the content, and what you should expect from that training and certification. Thanks for your patience in listening to my presentation. Over to you, Mr. Agbola.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Mr. Remy, thank you very much for this expository. There are one or two things I added to my knowledge. Yeah, so Mr. Remy, if you don't mind, do you want to unshare your screen so I can share mine? Yeah, so okay, Mr. Remy has said a lot. My name is Olabode Agbola, and it's good that I let you see a little about me before I begin to talk. Yeah, so I am an information security compliance practitioner based in the UK, and I'm a former director of training under Cybersecurity Expert Association of Nigeria. It shows that I am a trainer. Then I finished my MSc in Computer Security and Forensics from University of Bedfordshire, finished with distinction. I'm also an Harvard University and London Business School trained in strategic leadership. I have some certifications. Few of them are these, especially the one that brings us together today, which is ISO 2001 lead implementer. Okay, so Mr. Remy has said so many things, but I also want to share that he said about $827 billion is the potential revenue that AI might generate by 2030. Another uh, another survey says that it's going to be 1.3 trillion by 2030. 2030, Mr. Remy said that there is about 28% growth. Another survey says it's going to be 35.7% growth. So the good thing about those two surveys is that AI is advancing, AI is generating revenue. And one thing I like to say is that even in the midst of apprehension that AI might replace job, I can tell you that those that on the driver's seat of AI will retain their job. If you look at these 3 bullet points, say 2/3 of jobs could be partially automated by AI. That's a fact. But many of these jobs will be complemented by AI. Okay, so as we are seeing AI replacing jobs, we are also seeing AI making your job easy if you leverage the AI. For instance, where I work, I generate a lot of procedures, a lot of documents, and before AI, I have to look at my archive, look at my past documents. But now, just a simple prompt on the AI, I get my job going on easily. Then the third bullet point is that AI might not replace human job, but human with AI experience and expertise may. So yes, AI might replace or it might not, but it looks like it might replace people's job. But people who have AI experience might actually replace those who don't have. So I would rather be on that side where I have AI experience so that when that time comes, I'll be a preferred person to remain. I have a friend that I met in a conference in Rwanda last year. He called me and asked if I have got a document for assessing implementation of AI technology. That where he works, there are about 60 people in information security, and the company has set up AI security committee, and he was a member of the committee just because he has done and he is a certified ISO for 2001. And when he got certified, he shared his experience with his HR. So when it comes to setting up a committee, he was also considered. So that shows that he's gradually on his way being the one that might replace people who don't have AI experience. Look at this chart, very, 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 very informative. So comparison of employment growth with and without AI. The yellow is employment with AI, and the light orange, dark orange is employment without AI. So you could see that in 2025, there is a little difference between those two employment categories. But if you look at 2029, you could see that it's almost double. That is to say, people who have AI experience, additional to their call experience, will be retained in the job or will be employed before those who do not have AI experience. So we can't overstress this importance of this AI. AI and how it's going to metamorphose the labor market. So you might want to wonder, why are you bothered, or how does it affect you? If directly or indirectly you are in one of these circles, then it's better you start prioritizing getting yourself AI credentials. If you directly or indirectly work with organizations that develop AI, or directly or indirectly work with organizations that integrate AI, or you directly or indirectly work with organization that uses AI, or your organization you work with directly or indirectly, they provide data for AI, or you work with organization, or you aspire to be in a role where AI is regulated, or you aspire or want to be in a role where there is advocacy for AI, then this webinar is good for you. Yeah, so I will continue. If you look at the architectural layout of ISO 42001, there are 38 controls in Annex A. Unlike other ISO that have single annex, ISO 42001 asks for annexes: Annex A, Annex B, Annex C, and Annex D. What is Annex? Annex are where controls that, when they are implemented, can change the results that you aspire are dumped. So ISO structurally has two sections: clause section and annex section. Clause are general control, but annex are specific control that are required to be implemented. And when they are implemented, that's expected result is likely to happen. So Annex A of ISO 2001 contains 38 controls, and these controls are analyzed in this format. So there are controls for policy related to AI, there are controls for international organizations, there are controls for resources for AI system. For instance, there are controls for documentation, there are controls for data resource, there are controls for tool resource, controls for system and computer resource, and there are controls for human resources. Then if you go further, you will see further, sorry, I think I jumped 2 times. Okay, so this is second, okay, yeah. So this is the second section of the 38 controls in Annex A. We have AI system lifecycle, data for AI system, information for interested parties. All of these controls, how are they implemented? How the implementation, we are strengthening the ethical use of AI in organizations. How this control will not result to risk to human when the AI is adopted by organization or when AI is used by organization. So the ISO 2001 it focuses on responsible AI usage. It focuses on secure AI usage. It also focuses on risk AI. This risk that I'm talking about is a risk to human when AI is used. For instance, it is risky and it's not allowed for an AI to be able to run social scoring. When I say social scoring, AI, maybe somebody use AI to search for me, and AI says, this man is a debtor. So if that AI produces that result, that means that AI has scored me, social scoring, and this is what is classified as high risk AI, because it can make me to begin to be depressed. It can make somebody to go into committing suicide. So this is one of the focus of the organizations and the government who set regulation and standards to govern how AI is used. Okay, so and this is the last part of the ISO 42001 Annex A, where there are 38 controls. So as people who decide to take this class, you are not going to only learn about how to use AI securely and how AI can be used to secure digital asset organizations. You are going to learn how AI is going to be used responsibly and ethically. So it's a combination of cybersecurity and combination of social security with respect to responsible use and with respect to ethical use. So it's very, very wonderful. When I look at the structure of this for 2001, I actually appreciated the ISO standard and the team that put up these controls, because it's a blend of security, it's a blend of social security, it's a blend of ethical use, and it's just a one-stop which is very fun, which makes me to feel there are some other certifications out there that focus only on security of AI or secure usage of AI. To me, I don't have problem with that. But when I have one that combines all of this together, that's supposed to be my preference, and that is why I chose to focus more on ISO 2001. Okay, so these are the technical risks that are there in AI that necessitates organizations to put control in place to avoid this risk metamorphosing into incident or reality. For instance, AI is known to AI has potential of suffering data poisoning. Data poisoning is when some malicious data are injected into the AI training data. So when the AI model is trying to respond to prompt and it focuses on the data set to respond to prompt. And if data set is poisoned, then the response to will not be accurate. And one of the most serious and worst security risk in AI is AI hallucination. AI hallucination is when AI respond to prompt with a wrong response, and AI give a kind of a strong note showing that this response is very accurate, very correct, and very genuine. And whereas the response has no relation with the prompt, or the response is quite different from what the prompt is, or the response is quite misleading, and AI put all its efforts to convince the user that the response is very accurate. It's one of the very serious risks. Then we have model inversion, we have prompt injection, we have model theft, and AI data leakage. Model theft is when, for instance, Aka might actually re-engineer ChatGPT and call their own, maybe talk GBT. It's like clone ChatGPT and begin to use the clone and begin to ask people to subscribe the way we subscribe to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is losing revenue because their model is already been stolen and it has been re-engineered, has been cloned to do same or even more than what ChatGPT could do. So these are the risks that make organizations to take security of AI serious. You want to wonder why organizations spend time recruiting developers, recruiting AI experts to develop AI model that will help their business, and before they even go to the market, the model is stolen and their competitor is already using the model. So they won't want to have that happen to them. So they want to look at getting into their employment people who can secure them from being a victim of AI model theft. And the list is on and on. So when it comes to what you will learn in ISO 2001, I summarize them into these categories. We have principles and concept of AI. We have AI management system. We have planning for aims. So when I say aims, I mean AI management system, okay? And that is what ISO 42001 is based on. Planning of an aims implementation, the implementation and aims based on ISO. Then we have monitoring and measurement of aims implementation. Then we have management review. So and these are the things that we are going to cover. Very few of them, because I know this session is not going to be long enough for me to go very deep. So I just try to summarize in a way that I can still make a point, share with you. So AI concept and components, types of AI, AI system lifecycle, AI principles. Mr. Remy has spoken more about types of AI and types of machine learning and different type of AI network. All of this will be learned in this category called principle and concept of AI. Then AI management system. So advantages, what are in the clauses in the ISO for 2001, what is in Annex A, what is in Annex B. Annex A, for instance, contains the controls, Annex B contains the guide. So if we want to implement the control very well that will give the desired result, then you need to understand what Annex B has in stock. Then Annex C is objective of risk sources. What are the potential sources of risk that are possible to be encountered by organizations when AI management system is implemented? all these are in Annex C. Then Annex D is use of AI in diverse sectors. So if you want to look at the company you are implementing AI for, you can look at that company. Is it into manufacturing? Is it into sales? Is it into services? And what kind of controls in the 38 that is very applicable to these organizations? All these guides are what you will see in Annex D. Then if you look at the third group, which is planning of AIMS implementation, the training also leverages project management, which is a PMBOK and agile methodology and Prince 2. So as an implementer, you're actually carrying out a project. So you might want to choose what project methodology would you want to adopt to get the controls implemented. So you might want to look at the agile, you might want to look at PMBOK. PMBOK means project management body of knowledge, which is released by PMI in the US. Then you might also want to look at the agile to see if that is going to be applicable to your organization when you start the implementation project. Then approaches is really the speed of the implementation. Are you implementing AI so that you can quickly get your product into the market or get your organization product to the market? Or are you implementing AI because your organization has attained certain level of maturity, so little is needed to be done? Or you are implementing the AI control because your organization has very low maturity, so much need to be done. All of these are approaches that guides how to implement AI. Then are you implementing AI based on a business approach or system approach or systematic approach, integrated approach or iterative approach? So all of these are what we will learn when we are doing the implementation, when we are doing the ISO 27 or the 2001 training. So I just wish that all of us that are on this call is able to decide that that is what you want to do. Then we'll get together and enjoy ourselves. Then the next one is implementation of AI based on ISO 2001. So you can't implement anything at all except you have a deep understanding of the organization you're implementing for. And that is what is called context, the internal and external context, the department, the processes, the governance, the leadership, the resources, the locations, the dependencies, the internal dependencies, all of these are what will guide you in knowing how best to implement ISO 2001. And these are the skills you will learn when you join our class. Then risk assessment, you can't just implement anything without knowing what risk you want to mitigate. It's baseless to have anything implemented when there's no risk to be mitigated. So ISO for 2001 is risk mitigation oriented. That is to say, your organizations need to first of all have their risk catalog to know what risk we've got and what control specifically is able to help us mitigate the risk. Then you do your impact assessment. Yes, we have a risk. This risk, is it the risk we can just live and go and sleep? How will it affect us? Is it going to affect us so big or is it going to affect us so small? If the impact of the risk is so small, I don't have to spend resources like time and money and people to get the risk mitigated. So the impact assessment will also determine what controls you want to implement first, what controls you want to prioritize. Are you going to prioritize implementing control, for instance, ABCD over EFGH, for instance? So this impact assessment skill is what you're also going to learn. Then gap assessment is what have we got before that we don't even know that is going to help us, and we have it. And good, thank God that we have it. So we don't have to implement ABCD control because the way we do things normally before is already the way ISO for 2001 should be done. So for few or for these areas that we have been doing things on our own without knowing that it's going to come inside as for 2001, that's good for us. So that's gap. Gap means what we have that is already good and what we should have. Is there any gap? Then yeah. So I don't want to start the training here. I'm just giving you. So I will just quickly go to the last one so that I can. I'll pick two from the next one, which is monitoring, measurement of an implementation, and I will choose measuring objective, and I would also talk about candidate of measurement. So once you have implemented, or when you are implementing, what are the skills you need to monitor and measure what is under implementation or what has been implemented. So for instance, do you want to monitor how many changes that has been effected since you have implemented ISO? Do you want to start measuring how many non-conformities that you observe when you carry out your internal audits based on what you have implemented, so that you can see that before we implemented, when we do internal audits, we always have so many non-conformities. Now we have implemented and we are doing things rightly. Now we have done our internal auditing. We now have little non-conformities. So measurement enable you to see how far you are performing and what to be done again to do better. Okay, then the next one, and obviously the last one on this slide is is continual improvement and preparation for certification. So organizations who are commercial, who need customers to subscribe to their services or to the product, need to impress the customers, need to let the customer know that they are the right organizations to do business with. So how do they do that? They do that by getting their company certificated against certain ISO. So for instance, if I am a customer, I'm looking for organizations that where I work, my HR people want to implement 3 softwares for generating video content for training, and they asked me to carry out what's it called, AI security assessment on those 3 softwares. One of them actually, the company for one of the software is ISO 42001 certificated. That's the first company I recommended that they should start talking to, because they have ISO 42001 certification. So, and organizations will be happy having people like me to join them, especially when they are in service organizations. They will say, okay, we want to get so many deals, and we want to have this ISO certification, so that when we have it, people will prefer us to those who do not have. You will learn also how to guide organizations in starting their certification journey and ultimately getting their certification. So it's going to be a very fantastic and very interesting things for you to do. So I will skip this slide because I'm going to talk about it in the next slide. So then we have a lot of regulations and a lot of acts that complement ISO for 2001. We have even NIST AI security framework. We have EU AI Act. EU AI Act has come into force last year, and one of the things that is so important about this AI Act is that AI systems are categorized into 3 risk levels, which is unacceptable, high, and limited, or in fact, it's 4: unacceptable, high, limited, or minimal. Okay, the unacceptable risk AI system are systems such as those for government social scoring. I'll give you an example of if an AI is used to search about my data, and AI said that I am a debtor, and that's the response to the prompt when somebody search for me. That AI is classified as unacceptable, and that AI must be shut down immediately according to EU AI Act, because social scoring should not be part of what AI should be doing. So this is the angle where EU AI Act sees AI. It doesn't bother much about security. It's only bother about the risk that AI poses to human beings. Then let's look at the last one. AI risk system must be registered in an EU database before deployment. So if your organizations fall, I show you the AI ecosystem when we started my presentation today, and I show you developer. So if you work organizations that they develop AI, then that AI must be registered with EU regulation if that AI is expected to work for people who live in the European Union region. And so in an EU database before deployment with non-compliance leading to fine. So any AI that has been registered that does not comply with EU AI Act, that company that owns that AI is likely to pay 30 million as fine, or 6% of its global annual turnover. So if the company is based in Europe, is based in America, is based in Africa, is based in North America, is based in South America, is based in Canada, they will look at the 6% of their global annual return and compare to million, whichever that is higher is what they will pay for violating EU AI Act. So all of these are also what you will learn in the training. So this is my own certification to show that I have done my training. I am now a certified person, and this is what you are going to get by the time you also join us for the training and you are satisfied. So people that want to train you are not just those who study, are those who have proved that they are satisfied. And this PECB is a Canada-based organization, and PECB has licensed me as their own certified trainer. So also, Mr. Remy. So I would advise that if you want to do any training, do it with those who are licensed to train, and do it with those who know the road. So let those who know road show you the road. So this is the end of my presentation, and I hope that it's very simple enough and very understandable. So if you have got questions, Mr. Remy and I are here to listen to you and answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for that presentation. Has anyone got, let me just pause here. So, has anyone got any questions so far before I dive into the training per se, how to be part of that training and certification? Okay, someone drop in. Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you as well. Any questions so far based on my presentation, based on Mr. Bola's presentation? Okay. So that means it's kind of crystal clear. You really, but if there's you can drop the question on the chat. You can decide to drop the question on the chat or unmute yourself and ask. Okay. So I believe I'm sharing my screen. So just a little bit about Lynsec, basically. Lynsec Cybersecurity we've got a lot of things that we do, but one of the services that we provide is training and professional development for organizations and individuals. And we have a kind of unique approach towards our training. We are certified training organization for a lot of uh, companies like PECB, for example, EC Council, and so on and so forth. So we run a lot of trainings. We do ISO related training. We do EC Council related training like ethical hacking, forensic investigation, and all this comes with certification as well. We do DevSecOps as well, which is just a new one that EC Council introduced a couple of years ago. DevSecOps engineer certification. So we don't only train you, we also run the certification program as well. And that involves you showing that you you don't only attend the class, but also you can prove that you have understood the knowledge and you're able to apply it by using the certification to prove to people, just like Mr. Labode shows his certificate now. So there's a question here that how soon do you see AI and this certification applicable in Nigeria, Africa? What will you recommend? Will you recommend it, or it's mostly for Europe-based professionals? So the first one, how soon do you see AI and this certification? Is already applicable in Nigeria because Nigeria and Africa is not living in isolation. They are also implementing AI, and even the current Minister of Communication in Nigeria is kind of interested in the AI. You can see that they're coming up with a lot of kind of program regarding AI. Nigeria is even receiving a lot of support from international organizations for AI. So it's already there. And yesterday I just saw that the tax reform that the government of Nigeria is talking about, that they now created a generative AI for people to ask questions about everything you want to know about the government tax reform. You know, you can just go to that generative AI. So it's already there in Nigeria, and so this kind of standard are very important in terms of implementation in Nigeria. So it's not that how soon it's there already. So will you recommend it, or it's mostly also 100% recommending it? When you have that, so you're ahead of others, you know. What can you say about AI governance? So let me leave that to Mr. Labode, so that won't be only me.
Yeah, so AI governance is about the different it's about the different leadership structure, and it's about the different support structure in organizations to ensure that AI is adopted responsibly and AI is used in a way that there's no any security issues. One of the fears, one of the apprehensions of organization is the data loss in AI. Uh, a guy spoke in a conference that he has ChatGPT account and he log on to ChatGPT on his laptop in his house. He also log on ChatGPT on his official laptop because it's a web-based application, so there's no any filtering from firewall. So he uploaded official documents on the ChatGPT while on his official laptop, and he has ChatGPT to rewrite the document by making corrections. And ChatGPT make correction on that document and rewrite it back in MS Word file. And the guy, when he get to his house, is able to log on to his ChatGPT and able to download the document. So he has stolen the company's laptop, a company document, without the company knowing that that has happened. So governance is about those kind of structure put in place from leadership perspective to control perspective to policy perspective to ensure that AI is used for the purpose of the organization's business and that AI is used responsibly and AI does not create loopholes for any cybersecurity issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So basically, I think the first thing that most organizations do is to have a AI policy. You know, it's not a matter of not using things like generative AI, like ChatGPT, but because we have enterprise version as well, that the organization can control and be able to monitor, rather than the one that is just open and people can easily upload information. So it's not a matter of saying, oh, we don't want to use AI. There must be governance in place, and that's what Mr. Bola just mentioned. So talking about if there's any other question, please you can drop it in the chat box as I move on. So the certified ISO for 7001 lead implementer, he has talked much about what to expect, but this is the you know educational approach that we follow. Is participant centered. There's going to be a lot of exercises for students that have gone through us for like ISO 27001 lead implementer, lead auditor. We produce a lot of students. We've been doing this for the past 7 years now. So there are so many. You do exercises. There's going to be discussions. There's going to be case studies. So it's mostly participant involvement, and more so we also bring in our own personal experience, into board. So the prerequisite for PCB certification, you have to pass the exam. After the training, that training is one thing. Then you sit for the exam at your own time. You know, you can decide when you want to sit for the exam within 1 year. Mostly, we advise our students to do the exam as quickly as possible. Hopefully, but probably like a month, within a month anyway, if they've got the time. Some people do it the following week. Once you pass the exam, and we have confidence that 99% of success rates. Some people do, very few fail at the first instance, but the second go is free. So you have two attempts you know. So you've got 2 attempts for the uh, e- exam. So if you fail the first instance, you can do the second one free of charge. But majority pass at the first go. Then you must have 5 years professional experience, generally in IT, and governance, even if it's project management. There are so many other areas. It's not only about IT generally, because it's about governance as well. And 300 hours of related activity. Then once you sign that, present that, then you have to adhere to PCB code of ethics and 2 years experience in artificial intelligence management, so something related to that. Provide 2 references, then you become PCB certified and you can have that kind of certificate that was shown to you, something like this. So you can also have, apart from that certificate, you can have a digital badge, which you can put on your LinkedIn and all this stuff. So those are the things when it comes to the certification. So our own training, um, we normally run our training over the weekends, and we're starting the first training on ISO for 7001 lead implementer on the 1st of February. That's in 2 weeks' time. So it's 2 weekends. It's always Saturday, Sunday, and so that's 4 days. February 1 to 8 and 9, and it's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. GMT. The format is online instructor led, and it's weekend classes, Saturday, Sunday. So because it's not going to affect your work, then if you can search and look at how much the cost of the training and certification exam, you discover that you get something from £2,000 and above. But the regular fee that we have put it as introductory fee is £999. But this, which is a special discounted fee for those that attended this webinar. So for attending this webinar, you can pay £720. So this includes training and the certification. So if you are interested,
And the materials.
yeah, and the materials. So it's going to be PCB materials and
Sorry, Mr.
for
Remy,
that.
include the training, the material, and post-training guidance and support. After the training, we are still with you, helping you to navigate and helping you to see opportunities that you have. So it's very, 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 very inclusive of so many things. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for chipping in that. So it's not just we don't just train you and leave you. There are so many of our students that still come back. We've got a Slack channel where we communicate as well. You can we call the instructor directly, if there's area that you are looking at. So some of our students even call us to prepare them for interview, some that have even gotten the job, they want to implement ISO, they still come back to us to seek advice, seek for templates and so on and so forth. So obviously it covers a lot of things, but so it's highly discounted. You can do your research and check, you won't get £720 for training and the certification exam anywhere, So just to encourage people to dive into that field, and that's why we are seeking, having a very highly discounted fee. So that's it. You can, if you're interested, email training at lynsec.com or send a WhatsApp to this WhatsApp number. I think someone dropped in a question there that is there a way to track or identify what AI has been done with and what was done naturally? Okay, yeah. There's so many stuff, that we now use to detect whether something is deep fake, whether it's misinformation, and these are areas that people are working on. And this also for a startup, you can come up with some things to identify if it's AI generated. And you can say that even people that are using AI to do their projects, there are some tools that we can use to detect that this is AI generated. It's not. It's not natural. So it's possible, or these are possible to track. So any question, anyone? Any other question? Okay, so thank you so much. If there are no